Today's summer reading program is a manga talk for teens. We interviewed circulation and occasional reader's advisory expert, Miss Emily, on the popular manga series and an anime, Fruits Basket.
I'm recommending Fruits Basket is a shoujo manga. Manga is Japanese comics, the very simple way to put it. In Japan, they have a very large comic industry, and the overall name for it is manga. There is a bunch of different categories within that. For teens, which Fruits Basket falls under, for upper teen women predominantly, that would be shoujo manga. And similar ones to that would be like Oren High School Host Club would be one, and then shonen manga would be for older males, teens. Like one of the more popular right now is My Hero Academia. But an older one that's still pretty popular is like Naruto, Full Metal Alchemist. Those fall under shonen manga. For teens that enjoy books that have love triangles, Fruits Basket has one between the lead, Toru Honda, and two of the secondary leads, Yuki Soma and Kyo Soma. So teens that like romantic stories will really enjoy that. It's also a fantasy story mixed with mystery. For kids that just like a lot of drama in their storytelling, this one has it. Maybe for teens that enjoy CW shows like Riverdale and whatnot, but definitely those kind of dark family secret dynamics. Well, I do have like nostalgia for the original anime because that's kind of what got me into the manga. The current anime is just much better than the original, like just animation wise. It is beautiful. And it runs a lot smoother than the original. It's definitely a better one. I mean, the original's good, but this one's definitely better. The art is better. It is a shoujo manga that's geared more towards upper teen girls, but of course boys can read it. I mean, it has plenty of action. Two of the male leads are martial artists who are constantly fighting, so it does have that element in there. So our main lead is a high schooler named Toru Honda. She is an orphan as her father died when she was 3, her mother had died a few months prior. She had to go move in with her grandfather, but more families moving in with her grandfather. Her grandfather is going to have to redo the house to allow more family members, so he asked her to go stay with a friend. She doesn't want to be a burden on others, so she ends up pitching a tent in the middle of the woods while still attending high school through all this. What she doesn't know is she has pitched a tent in the woods that is the Soma residence. She ends up being found by one of her, the Soma she goes to high school with, Yuki Soma, and Yuki's elder relative, Shigure Soma. They end up letting her stay in the house because a big storm comes through and her tent gets covered in a landslide. She later on meets another Soma that ends up moving in, Kyo Soma. Him and Yuki are roughly the same age, and Kyo's fixing to start going to high school with them as well. That is when Kyo shows up and starts fighting Yuki. It gets revealed that all 12 members of the Soma family are cursed by the vengeful spirits of the Chinese zodiac. So definitely in the first volume, you're introduced to Toru Honda, you're introduced to her main love interest, which will be Kyo Soma and Yuki Soma. And then you start getting a buildup of the other members of the Soma household, which will further be unraveled as the series goes on. And I don't want to spoil too much because like there's a lot of stuff that happens in that series. You're like, oh, but if you go back, you'll see, oh, this was a buildup. This was something that was like, you can find details that revealed where this was heading. So if you like love triangles, you like dark family histories that slowly get revealed, and you just like fun characters that have a lot of emotional drama happening, but overall leads to a happy ending for everybody, definitely a fun series to check out. Another one I can recommend, and it is an older one, but there is a lot of volumes to the series, is Inuyasha, especially if you like Fruits Basket and you enjoy the love triangle and the fantasy element of that with some darker undertones. Inuyasha definitely exists in that same realm. So that is another one if you like the fantasy, the love triangle, and just kind of like the darker elements, because I mean you are dealing with like demons and creatures trying to slaughter people in past Japan. But you also like maybe some of the more modern day elements, like you have a Fruits Basket. Kagome is jumping between the past and the current day. Current day though, this is an older manga, so current day is kind of like the 90s. So the title for Fruits Basket, a lot of people want to call it Fruit Baskets. It is Fruits Basket, And it comes from a game that Toru talks about playing as a child, a game called Fruits Basket, where everyone gets the name of a fruit and you're sitting in a chair and someone has to call your fruit and you jump up and you switch chairs. So she talks about experience as a child where everyone was given a fruit and she was given rice ball, onigiri. So, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But she's waiting and waiting and waiting, and no one ever calls her. So this wraps back to her feeling like she's never really belonged anywhere outside of being with her mother. With her mother gone, she doesn't really fit in with her extended family until she meets the Somas, and then she actually finds a place she belongs. So Fruits Basket is, in the title, it is a story about finding where you belong and finding yourself. Fruits Basket does, in the series, when it's revealed about the characters, all 12 members of the Soma family being cursed by the spirits of the Chinese zodiac, they do explain what it is. A short summary of the story is there was 12 animals invited by God to a banquet. Of those animals, 2 of them were the rat and the cat. The rat tells the cat it's going to be the next day, and the cat believes him. So the rat is able to, goes to the banquet, rides on top of the ox, and before all the other animals make it, it jumps off the ox. That way it is the first one in the banquet. The cat never knows, sleeps through the entire banquet, and that's how it did not end up part of the zodiac. Now the character Akio is the cat. He is part of the Soma family and they're cursed, but he is kind of double cursed because he's not even in with the 12 original animals. So that's how kind of the Chinese zodiac wraps into that story. I would recommend Fairy Tail. It is a shonen manga that deals with these characters who all have magic powers and are part of a specific guild where you get different adventures you can go to for money. And everyone has very interesting powers. One of the main lead girls has powers also dealing with like the zodiac, I believe. She has different keys that she has to make deal with different zodiac characters that work with her to like fight other magical beings. And another character has dragon-based powers, and there's other people with dragon-based powers. And his side character is a talking cat, which as you go on in the series, you find out more about where that talking cat comes from, because I don't believe that cat even knows.
Thank you for watching today's Tales and Tales teen program. For more summer reading programs, check back at our Facebook for updates.